Everyone's talking about AI trading robots, but let's be really clear from the get-go, that's pretty much a fantasy. And it's not what we're doing here. Today, we're going to break down a real-world system for using AI in long-term investing. And no, it's not a magic stock picker. It's a dedicated thinking partner that brings discipline and, most importantly, clarity to your decisions. By the end of this, you'll have a simple three-step blueprint you can use right away.
Okay, let's dive into this. First things first, you gotta forget the cliche you see everywhere. This whole fantasy of some automated robot making you rich overnight. The reality for smart, long-term investing is actually way more interesting. It's about using AI as a partner, a co-pilot, to help you make well-researched, disciplined decisions that you truly own.
And look, this isn't just theory. This is a real-world approach being used right now to manage a live portfolio, and it started with £75,000. Now, the goal here is super clear, and I think pretty pragmatic. Grow that portfolio toward £1 million over the next few years. This structured method, with AI as a core part of it, is really the engine that's driving toward that North Star.
So what in the world is an AI thinking partner? Well, think of it like your own personal research assistant. Its main job is to take massive amounts of information and structure it for you. What's so crucial is that it helps you cut through all the noise, but, and this is a big but, it must never, ever replace your own critical thinking and your final judgment.
So let's get right into the fundamental problem this whole system is really designed to solve. For any long-term investor, the biggest battle isn't with the market, it's with the noise.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of the challenge. We are just constantly bombarded with headlines, data, conflicting opinions. It's like a fire hose of information, and it's all designed to push us toward making these reactive, emotional decisions instead of calm, considered ones.
And here's a perfect and honestly a pretty painful example from my own experience. I had a solid company in my portfolio, and it dropped 5% in one day. My gut reaction? Total panic. I sold, instantly, just to avoid any more loss. And then, the stock recovered completely within a week. That is a textbook case of selling low because you reacted to noise, not to your actual thesis.
So the goal really is to evolve from being that emotional reactor into a disciplined decision maker. And this simple three-step blueprint gives you the framework to turn all that overwhelming noise into real, actionable clarity.
The mantra is incredibly simple. You just have to remember: define, ask, and act. It's a systematic process that forces you to be deliberate. So let's break down each one of these steps.
Okay, step one. What's so powerful about this first step is how it forces you to find absolute clarity right from the very beginning. Vague fears just lead to vague answers. This is all about turning that anxiety into a focused analytical task. So instead of just vaguely worrying, is Palantir a bad investment now? You frame a really precise, answerable question. Just look at these examples. They're specific. They actually reference the investment thesis. This single sentence anchors your entire analysis and, maybe more importantly, stops you from chasing down irrelevant information.
All right, so once you have that perfectly defined question, you can finally deploy your AI thinking partner. But the secret is all in how you ask. You're not just asking for a simple summary. You're using it like a highly skilled research intern who needs very specific instructions.
This is the crucial point right here. You have to move beyond those generic prompts like, summarize the news about this company. The best prompts, the ones that get you real insights, they set strict constraints, they demand comparative analysis against historical data, and they force the AI to look for those non-obvious, non-consensus risks.
These examples really drive that point home. See, for Nebius Group, we're asking about ARR sustainability, which is just a fancy way of saying predictable, recurring revenue. But we're also demanding a comparison to historical precedents and a focus on cancellation risks. For Palantir, we're not just asking who are the competitors. We want 5 emerging technologies and a time horizon. This is how you get deep, thesis-relevant analysis.
So after we define our question and get all that structured research from the AI, we're left with the most important step: act with clarity. This is where it all comes together, and honestly, it's the real takeaway for your own process.
What this all shows is that the real power of AI in investing isn't about finding some magic stock pick. Not at all. It's about building a system that gives you structure, a system that favors discipline over emotion, and a system that ensures that you, not the AI, make the final call. Acting with clarity means you can use that structured output to confidently make a decision that is totally aligned with your goals. Your critical thinking is always the final, most important step.
And that leaves us with a final, really crucial question to think about. Are you looking for a tool that claims it can predict the future? Or are you looking for a tool that helps you build a process so robust it can withstand the future no matter what it brings?